Everyone, welcome to Spirit Guide Chat. I'm Jake. I am here to do the weekly readings on current events. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for all the people who's been on this channel, my small community. But please, if you're watching and you haven't liked or you haven't subscribed, please do so. But also like my content and feel free to answer or ask any questions. About current events, and I will answer them in a future reading. And just to kind of go over last week's video, I so far certain things have come to pass in regards to the Supreme Court ruling that happened the next day following that video, where I said that it will be mostly against Trump, which it is true. It was against Trump. However, they did mention in the ruling that there's other laws that he can implement tariff in a more targeted way, and that's what the cards were saying. The other thing is so far we're going to check in with Iran. That's going to be the first thing. We're going to see how things are going with that. Recently, that's the other thing. Recently, it was just said that the ICE agents will not be will not be at the polling station. So that was one thing that the card said last week as well. Let's move along and start with Iran. Just looking at the negotiations where we're at, because that's currently what's going on. There's still active negotiations. I know the cards were saying that the buildup are being used as a negotiation tactic. But let's see the status of the negotiations between Iran and the U.S. How does that look, Spirit? How do the moon card, things are coming out from the surface, fear, anxieties over, and that's probably from both sides, to be honest, because there's not a lot of support, even within the U.S. military for this, nor the world either. Ooh, jumpers today. We got the Three of Swords, and there's some kind of leader coming in trying to be the more rational one, and I want to say it's probably Marco Rubio in regards to trying to bring down Trump and maybe prevent some of these attacks on Iran. Let's just see. All right. You saw me shuffle the cards, and we have the Three of Swords starting out right out. There is a lot of heartache about where we're at with Iran. And I want to say this is in regards to, yes, the military. There has been accounts that the military leaders are not in support of these Iranian attacks because they feel like it's going to be much worse for the region. And this can be talking about the allies as well as even people within Trump's circle. What's this being crossed by is the Queen of Cups. There's a lot of insecurities in regards to how the negotiations are going. They're not sure it's going that well. What's at the foundation? Empress card. I think Russia is involved in the sense that Russia does not want us to attack Iran because this is affecting their relationship. Here's the Tower card in the recent past. There's this sudden shift in Iran that we had, and there's some kind of pause. I crawling this reading. I think they're trying to encourage Trump not to go ahead with these attacks in the near future. Again, the Moon card comes in again. A lot of anxiety, fear. The Knight of Pentacles is expanding on that, and then this is the outside view. I think this is where our allies view if the negotiations fail, this is going to be a downfall for the United States, the Ten of Swords. again, money is the factor why these negotiations, the oil, of course, with Iran, then the hopes and fears with the Queen of Pentacles, and now they're saying that the negotiations going to fail. Excuse me. With the Five of Wands, there's just too much conflict between the parties, and it's going to lose. It's going to financial loss with the Five of Pentacles. So it's not nobody's going to win in with these negotiations failing. So, which is correlates with some of the news that's coming out in regards to the negotiations. Um, let's take a look here. If again, even though we asked this last week, but since it hasn't happened yet, will there be some sort of attack between from the United States into Iran, whether it's air, by sea? It's not going to be land. I don't see that. I don't feel that. Will there be attacks from the United States to United States forces to Iran? The Russia card comes out with the Empress, excuse me. So let's take a look here. Yep, this has been in the plannings for a while. Eight of Pentacles here on making these attacks. Whoops, Ace of Wands is crossing the reading. So there is going to be a delay on this. They're trying to pause. I keep on feeling that it's Marco Rubio trying to prevent him from doing this. I think there's just he's getting word that there's just do not go ahead with this. Again, this is going to create financial loss for us at the foundation of this. This is not going to be for our benefit if we do go ahead. The devil cards in the recent past. And crowning this reading is the Six of Cups, the past, how things are run. But Trump is going to go forward. He wants to go forward with this, with the Knight of Swords. He is going to look at a partnership with these attacks, maybe from Israel with the Two of Cups. But they're still going back and forth. I think Israel's going to go back and forth about whether to cooperate with this. The Justice card is in the hopes and fears. There's going to be regret and disappointment if this happens with the Five of Cups. So, what I'm thinking is that there is, and here's the betrayal, and with the Seven of Swords. I think right now it's really like the Two of Pentacles are saying, going back and forth. I think Trump really wants to do this, and if we do go ahead with these strikes, it's not going to turn out for the benefit of the United States. Or if Israel gets involved either. I think Israel's going to get counterattacks, or the United States may lose lives too. I just don't think it's going to work out in our favor if it does happen. So I'm going to say it's up in the air, but if we do, it's not going to be favorable for the U.S. And moving on to another U.S. International thing is that Cuba, their border control has attacked Floridian speedboat the other day. They said that they were attacked. Allegedly, a lot of the verbiage from the government is stuff that the Trump administration has said in regards to attacking Venezuelan boats. So they're playing the same game that the Trump government has done. So let's see if the U.S. will retaliate. Now, mind you, if you're not aware of what's going on in Cuba, we basically put in an embargo. I mean, like a blockade, excuse me, not just an embargo, but a blockade around Cuba, not allowing them to have oil and whatnot because they run their electricity and power through oil. So they haven't had electricity. It's been dark in Cuba, and their people are probably hungry, starving. So they're retaliating. the way that they can. So let's see if the United States will retaliate on this attack in some way, some sort of way. Will Trump retaliate? I view this as a pet project for Marco Rubio, um, who's the son of Cuban immigrants. If he probably had it his way, we would probably Cuba would be the territory of the United States. But let's see if the United States will retaliate on this. Okay, we have the Lover's card coming in right here, some kind of partnership. The Six of Pentacles, some kind of there's going to be definitely strings attached. I think there's something that they're going to do, try to negotiate with Cuba, but of course it's going to be one-sided. Here's the financial loss. This is what I was saying with the Cubans. They just have there's so much poverty going on right now because they don't have power. Um, in the recent past, Seven of Wands, trying to stay on steady feet. There is going to be some kind of communication there is going to be some kind of negotiations. So crowning this reading with the Page of Swords. The Nine of Cups is the most recent outcome. There's going to be some kind of agreement. This is a way, like I said, Trump is notorious to use force, cruelty to get our way financially, some way, or his friends to get rich some way. So I think there is going to be some kind of deal, of course, one-sided, like I said. There's the Queen of Wands. Expanding on this, there is some determination to in Cuba to get some help, even if it's with the United States who started this all. The Star card coming from the outside. This is a good omen that maybe there's going to be help coming in. I think this is Marco Rubio with the hopes and fears. He's wanting to be the leader there. Be his, like I told you, this is his pet project. There is going to be some kind of financial opportunity that's going to be the outcome with these negotiation Page of Pentacles. And of course, the victory card with the Four of Wands for the Cuban people getting power back. But this is at a cost, with the Five of Swords. So, again, with the one-sided deal, I mean, they'll get the help that they need, but it's going to be coming in as a cost. There's going to be strings attached, whether that's going to be regime change from the United States, whether there's going to be control of the territory in some way. Who knows? I mean, Cuba's closer to Venezuela, so it wouldn't put it past. Like the hope would be that Marco Rubio would be some kind of temporary envoy that stays in Cuba and running the show there. So we'll see what goes on, but definitely there's going to be some kind of one-sided negotiation. So stay tuned to hearing some talks and negotiations. Okay, let's move into some domestic things. I want to look into the EPS stuff files and see if there's more information coming. Last week we talked about the former Prince Andrew is going to make some kind of deal where he's going to give out information about that, especially financial information. So let's take a look if it's coming soon. Is that more information that's more overt, making those connections more obvious? And I feel like that information that's been held off in the United States is going to come out from outside the country. So here's the six of wands. There is some kind of information that's going to be coming out. The Four of Swords is crossing this. there is some burnout with people working on it. I mean, these are millions of pages of documents, and I just think that there are really good people out there trying to research all these pages and digging and looking and researching. There is a lot of disagreements on the information. Even the people outside the United States trying to figure out decipher information. It's hard to when some of this stuff is being it's not being disclosed because you're only getting half the story. So you're trying to piece this information. The Nine of Pentacles is in the paths with the wealthy, protecting the wealthy. The Six of Cups is crowning this reading. Of course, we're talking about the paths. Um, the Ten of Cups are here. I think there's. I feel like these are. I think these are some of the survivors going to be working with these and to get more information out. It's going to deal. This pops up all the time. The Ten of Pentacles in regards to. It's going to be a money connection that's really going to get people implicated in this. Here's the surprise from the outside environment. There's something international coming out, information. And I think it's going to be something to do with money wise. They're going to feel tied up. That's in the hopes and fears with the Eight of Swords. And then, but there's going to be definitely resilience. This is not going away. Their information is going to keep on coming out, and that's a big yes card that it is going to continually come out. Giving and receiving information, it further explaining that. So it is coming soon. It's just there's a lot of information to sift through, and they're hoping to get more information that hasn't been released yet. And it's going to come probably most likely most of the damning information is going to come out internet from outside the US. Um, all right. Let's go to before we go to individual people, let's talk about this was announced and then it kind of got swept under the rug when there was other information coming out this week about Trump withholding Medicaid funds from Minnesota. Um, let's see, and this is very concerning with because Medicaid is used by a lot of people, not just the poor. You have seniors, you have kids on Medicaid. Let's take a look about the effect of withholding Medicaid funds to Minnesota. Will this be stopped, spared? What will happen? And what's the repercussions of Trump doing that? What's the repercussions of this? What's going to happen? Will it be stopped? The Ten of Cups coming in. About you're talking about a lot of families being affected by this. There's not going to be much strength behind this with the strength card crossing this. There is action being taken towards this uh, order that was done. In the past, you had balance, you had temperance. Um, because what this is the crowning this reading is the Queen of Pentacle. Is this is dealing with people's hard-earned money, nurturing people, giving the care that's needed. There is going to be disagreements about this. There's going to be fighting in regards to this particular policy that he just did, and there is going to be a pause. There's something's going to happen where it's going to create a pause. The Nine of Cups from the outside. This is going to hopefully bring stability when this is paused, because the fear is that people are going to be in destitute because holding these Medicaid funds out. But there is going to be some kind of celebration coming up because people are going to be collaborating to get this to stop. Yeah. Then you have the Eight of Swords. People who are medicated, their hands are tied. But here's the King of Swords. There is going to be some kind of judge that's going to say you can't do this. So hopefully sooner than later, right? And if you're out in Minnesota seeing this, I am sorry that you're dealing with this. This is like Unbelievable. Unbelievable, but yet believable because of the state we're in right now. So, okay. Let's look at individuals. I want to look at Ash Patel since the blowback from the Olympic scenario. And it's not just going into the locker room. That's neither here nor there. I think the more so it's using the government jets for going to these Olympic Games and just using government vehicles, using government money improperly. Let's see if he is on his way out. I wonder if this is the last straw with the Olympic thing. Is he on the verge of leaving soon? Spirit, is Cash Patel on his way on the outs with Donald Trump? Okay. We have the hangman here. There's going to be some kind of plot. I think there are some kind of change. They're pushing him to the side. He's been kind of quiet. You haven't seen him in the forefront. The star card's on its side. There's a lack of faith in him. There is a lack of faith. I mean, most people have a lack of faith in Cash Patel. I'm talking in regards to Trump. Um, the Empress cards on the foundation of the reading. There's something. Some kind of action that's coming across. This is in the recent past. I think that he's causing them too much anxiety about what he's doing, his recklessness, but they're still weighing the options. They're not for sure, but probably because with Cat Patel, he knows a lot. He's seen the full Epstein files and stuff. But there's going to be some kind of action being taken with the Knight of Swords. And here's this proposal. I think they're going to offer him some kind of job proposal. With the Six of Pentacles from the outside, I think there's going to be some kind of job proposal because this is causing a big drain on the funds in the government. And there's going to be some kind of victory in regards to this. I think he is going to be given a job offer that he will take and will save both of themselves because I think this job is not what he was wanting. You know, he used to be a podcaster, he was making good money, and this job is not what he wants to be because he's probably have to do a lot of work. So, so he is on his way out once that new job comes across him. The next thing came out a day or two ago. Nancy Mace is forcing a vote about Representative Tony Gonzalez, a Republican in Texas congressman who's been accused of sexual harassment from, I think, 3 staffers. He also had a mistress that, I think he's married, right? Mistress that killed herself by unaliving herself, should say, setting herself on fire. First denying that he knew her, and then text messages came out to dispute what he was saying. So he said that he did do it in regards to her being mistress, not the unaliving. So let's look to see if he's going to resign. So there's going to be rapid movement because this is going to be a forced vote that has to be done. The 10 of Wands is crossing this. The women are really carrying the burden on this. Nancy Mace, Lauren Boebert, and Representative Luna from Florida. The Page of Swords is at the bottom, at the foundation of the reading. They're wanting investigations on this. This is how I feel, even though this is normally the Trump card, Representative Gonzalez feels like has the power and the respect in the past. There is going to be some kind of judgment coming, new phase in this. A Wheel of Fortune, that's good to hear about this. If there's going to be conflicts about him, There's going to be a victory, I think, from the outside from women. For the other, see, here's the hopes and fear of women coming together. I think there is a possibility he might, before he might get a job offer that he may not run for re-election, so and resign early before investigations. So let's take a look here, because it could be slow moving. So even though they said that he's going to eventually resign. Um, I have a feeling there was rumor. Well, I've had this feeling that Nancy Mace had used her, because she's not running for re-election. She's running for governor of South Carolina, and I feel like she has the Marjorie Taylor Greene card in her pocket in regards to leaving Congress early, as a threat, especially when right now they're at a one person margin in the House, with the Republicans having only a one vote margin. So let's take a look if Nancy Mace will resign early. Will Nancy Mace resign early before the midterms? Here's the star card here, crossed by the Queen of Cups. There, she feels that she's the star, and she feels that she has insecurity of what's going on here. If you think for one second that if she does leave early, or even this with Tony Gonzalez is doing due to her wanting to do good things, I strongly suggest otherwise. This is all about self-preservation. I mean, she is running for office. She wants to look like a good guy, gal. And this is all about self-preservation. Here at the Fear and Anxiety with the Moon card, and plus she probably has seen the Epstein files. She's one of the pushers, so she knows what's going on. There's Page of Pentacles in the past. Yeah, there's going to be an announcement made, and with the Page of Wands, the World card, the ending and the beginning. I think she is going to, but she's holding the card close about this. Here's the secret with the High Priestess. Yeah, she's been working on this for a while. The Seven of Pentacles, and it's a maybe with the Hierophant card. I think it just depends on what kind of actions are being taken. And if she does, there's the loss with the Five of Pentacles. So I think she does have this in the back pocket. It's just going to be new. It's going to be up to the Congress or leadership, GOP leadership, on the Tony Gonzalez thing, what she's going to do on this. So again, free will does take a play in a lot of things in regards to how things happen, how things play out. Because she's going to be leaving Congress. It's just the timing is going to be dependent on the free will of this. So that's a big maybe for her. So let's close out doing a general reading. Again, closing out, please subscribe, like, and feel free to comment with any questions that you may want me to ask in a future reading. I much, much, much appreciate it. All right, Spirit, general message for the public. What message would you like to send out to everyone? All right. We have the Nine of Pentacles here. Um, this is us wanting be financially secured, crossed by the Page of Pentacles. In the worry about it not being stable right now. The Queen of Cups is, we're trying to be emotionally stable through these unsure times. Definitely we were in a crossroads in the past, and we wanting to create balance. They're saying you need to create your own balance and how you want to take care of yourself. Again, right when I was saying this, I got the Empress card here. And again, walking away with the Eight of Cups from things that don't serve you, uh, because things will. You have to look at the things that we do have with the King of Pentacles from the outside in, looking outside in. Look at the focus on the things you do have and the lack of things you don't have, because we do have more abundance than we think with the Ace of Pentacles. And I'm not talking about financial, but I'm talking about emotional, um, uh, spiritual, of abundance. Because this we are going through this transition right now with the Six of Swords, and in the end, we're going to have our victory right there with the Six of Wands. So again, this is a recurring theme that Spirit does say, if you've been watching from week to week, a lot of times about taking care of ourselves. We're not talking about just financially, but health wise, mentally, spiritually, all those things, because that will help us going through this change that we're going through for the better. So with that being said, thanks for joining me. Until next time. Bye bye.